What's up, guys? I'm here with my first game review of the year, my first game review in a while. Not the first game I beat this year. I thought I was going to do a review of Kingdom Hearts 2.8 first, but I still have not watched the little mini-movie that's with it. But I will get to that eventually. But I wanted to be more relevant, so I want to talk about the most recent game I beat, and Platinum, by the way, Horizon Zero Dawn. For starters, if you have a PS4, you should play this game. This is a great open-world game. Maybe... This is a great open world game. Definitely one of the best. Not the best. I think The Witcher and a couple others are better than it, but it might be the best world in an open world game. What do I mean by that? I mean the whole time when you're just traveling around and you have these giant robots, it's never fun not to kill these giant robots, and these giant robots always challenge you, and I think they're placed in good spots in the world to make it interesting the whole time. This world also has a deep mystery that you discover throughout the game with layers, which I think make it great. But while the world and the mysteries of the world are cool, some of the characters in it aren't that strong. A lot of these side characters aren't that interesting. There are several that I think are really cool, and I think that's what makes it's so sad when there's characters that aren't cool. I mean, you meet different societies which are completely different than just the Nora society that you're introduced to in the beginning of the game, and where you think a lot of the game is going to take place. All these different civilizations which have different things about them, and it's kind of like there's, alright, this tribe gives more like a medieval vibe, this tribe kind of has more like an Arabian vibe, this like, oh, these are kind of like the Russians in a way, and then the Nora are more like the Native Americans. Like, okay, it's cool to see that these different new civilizations would grow up in different ways while all being connected. But the characters that live there aren't always the most interesting, like I said. There are several that are cool. There's this guy you take down bandit camps with who kind of has just a I want to battle and fight way about him. You have someone who's kind of like, hey, I'm really interested in you, but not in like a creepy way. And he's like, I wanted to respect you in the end. You get drunks with hearts of gold, and kind of you feel bad for them. You get strong, powerful female characters, but for every one of those, there's another one who's just like, hey, what's up? Can you go fetch me some dragon scales or whatever? And it's like, why would it's better for a game to have less characters but make each character you care about and give you interesting side missions than to have these blank characters with not as well done side missions. But those not as good side missions is not as well done characters. I mean, in the main story itself, there's only a handful of characters you care about. I wish these characters would have been better to increase the enjoyability of the game, but the characters are one of the few bad aspects of the game. Like I said, the open world itself is great, and it's never fun not to take down these robot dinosaurs. And why is that always fun? Is because the combat is so well done. You can craft arrows on the fly, you can switch between your different weapons in a wield. You can only carry 4 with you, so you need to prepare before each battle because each weapon has a purpose, and you're wanting to... I stick mostly to the bow, but every once in a while, hey, a big guy comes along, I need to hit a herd of them with my sling, or there's 2 different bows. You have a war bow that can be used to freeze or corrupt them, which makes them easier to take their armor down. And if you're prepared, and if you think out how you're going to take down these robot dinosaurs, which you have to do, it can be easy to take them down. But if you're ever surprised or if you're ever unfocused, you can also easily die by them, so you never feel super overpowered, but you also know if you're prepared, and as you unlock these weapons, it becomes more fun, more enjoyable. And there's, like I said, the secrets in this world are also very fun. Just like when you start the game, you think you're only with the Nora, and then as it expands, you find all these different cultures. Just the mystery of that is enticing. Then you have the mystery of how the old civilization got destroyed, which is enticing, and then the mystery of how this new world came to be. All these secrets, all this mystery, all this story of the world is great. And there's moments in the world with these characters that aren't so good, but there's moments where, like, let's say you finish a quest, and there's this one quest in particular. You go, it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type story. You finish the mission, she's sad because her Romeo died, and you go and you find her dad, and you tell her dad, hey, she's over here, she needs comforting, and that's the end of the mission. You can stop there. But if you go over and you listen to the conversation they have, it's kind of like closure, which I felt the need to go do, and it's like, oh man, that's a very beautiful written scene, and I think it's great that not everyone is going to hear that. There's one of the good side characters is Ross, the man who raises you, and when you learn his backstory, I learned later that's a completely optional branch of dialogue which you have with a certain character. If you do certain things, it's completely optional to listen to that. So people didn't know his backstory, and his backstory is so cool. There's a certain grave you can visit that you'll have conversations with that has deep emotional impact, and there's no reason to. The game never tells you to go to this grave, but if you happen upon it and you have these conversations, like, oh man, that is a very well written, emotional, and optional scene, and I just love when the world has these secrets story wise that's completely optional. It encourages you to explore the world. And then I'll get to what I think is the strongest aspect of this game is the story. Which you're like, hey, but you don't care about a lot of the characters. How is the story so good? Well, the story for the most part is about this world and the mysteries of this world. And Aloy herself, who I think is a great character. And I think the way that she challenges not just what's going on, but what her entire society believes and what this society believes. And she's curious and hunting for the truth. And I just think her curiosity is what makes her such a great character. And what also makes her a great character is the fact that she's female isn't important to the story, so she could have been any character, but they chose to make her female anyways, just to be like, yeah, that's the statement, is that this could be anyone, but we chose to make a woman. I think that is great woman empowerment, all that jazz, but I think she is a great character because of that curiosity and what leads her to go to this world. And during the first half of the game, you think the story's going one way. And then when it actually starts to dive into the mysteries of this game, I think it's great, fast-paced, all the way to the end. In the beginning, so I was like, oh, I'm doing all these side missions. That's just the way I play games. But then when I hit that chain, the story where it's like, oh, they started to answer that question, which I wasn't entirely sure they were going to answer. And they asked new questions. You go to the next story mission, they answered that question, but makes you ask more questions. I think just the delve into the mystery, which a lot of the mysteries of the world are answered, but there's still some left for future sequels, which I think there definitely will be. So this is a game with great story, great world, great combat, great a lot of things. A few drawbacks. This is more of an RPG than you would think going into it. I think the skill tree needs some work. I think some of these side missions need some work. Like one thing that strangely bothered me is that the missions stay white until you beat them, but there's these hunting trials where you can complete them, but then it still stays on. Something like that kind of bothers me. I feel towards the end of the game, like by the time I got to those final set of story missions, I was already max level and I had all the skill points, which it was mostly just going around doing the side missions. And I feel, okay, well then if I would have done the story missions when I got the side missions, I would have been overpowered. I would have liked for a longer skill tree with skills I cared about and more a higher level cap maybe. But minor gripes overall, I really enjoyed this. But the one drawback is the fact that some of the side missions, some of the characters just aren't as strong. But like I said, there are also some great characters and great side missions in it as well. I think if they clean this up, this can be a perfect game. Right now it's a very good game. The second best game I think the PS4 has to offer exclusively. First being Uncharted 4, because I think what Uncharted 4 does, it does better than anyone else. Like I said, Horizon does the open world great, but I think it's just like The Witcher 3 does it better. Just as an example. But I still love this game. I definitely recommend everyone to play it and go take down some robot dinosaurs. I give this 8.5 out of 10. So, have you played Horizon? If so, let me know down below what you thought of it. Let me know what your favorite PS4 exclusive game is. Like I said, mine's Uncharted 4, which is my favorite PlayStation exclusive game of all time besides Kingdom Hearts. Because that's exclusive, right? Yeah. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be on Xbox, but not Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. It's going to stay PS4. Or PS2 and PS3. It's been on all of them now. And PSP for the PSP one. Birth by Sleep. Love Birth by Sleep. That might be my favorite. Different topic, different day. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.